So today I'm talking about the Sony G Master 24 to 70 mil for your Sony cameras. Now this is a full frame lens, and you know what? It's a really nice lens. I should mention that this is the first version, not the second version that just came out probably a couple weeks ago. And I know that, and you all know that, because it seems like everybody in the camera field and the filmmaking field did a video on it. Well, you know what? I did not. The reason I did not, well, first of all, Sony didn't send me one. That's fine. My channel's still small. I'll get over it. I'll be okay with that. However, I was looking at this lens for a couple different projects. The new one looks fantastic, but I was able to get this lens for $1,000 off. Now, that's pretty darn good if you ask me. It's still a decent lens, and maybe it's not the newest version of it, version 2 of course. And of course, being a G Master, you know you're going to get pretty good glass in this lens. And the focal length is pretty decent, 24 to 70. Something kind of in the middle, you're not getting a lot of tight shots, and it's not too wide, but something in the middle. I have other lenses that'll get me those other shots. So this is something that I've been wanting for a while, and I was kind of on the fence about whether I get the new version, which looks absolutely fantastic, or do I get the old version? Well, since I got this old version at $1,000 off, I had to go pick it up. And you know what? So far, it's been decent, and I've taken it out on a couple trips, camping trips and different things like that, just to shoot and, just to have some fun. Really no reason right now. I do have a couple projects where I will use this later on, but for now I just wanted to test it out, and it's been really, really good. I really enjoy it. I do want to get the version 2 and see how this compares. A friend of mine did purchase that lens, so I'll give it a test and see how it works compared to this one. The new version is a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller, and it has a couple little features that aren't with this one, but for the most part, when it comes to the glass, it's pretty similar. They may have updated the glass a little bit, but hey, this has been a standard lens for a while now, and I think the quality is really decent, and so far I've been happy with it. Another reason why I picked up this lens, and I was interested in this lens for a while now, I do enjoy the 24 to 70 for sure, but it's also a 2.8 lens. Which is pretty darn good for a zoom lens. I mean, there's not a lot of zoom lenses that will give you 2.8. For my other cameras, I do have Sigmas that will go 1.4, and those are awesome. I absolutely love that. And a Sony, I think it's Sony 50 that I have, 1.8 maybe, something like that. It's been a while since I used that. Anyways, I love the fact that it opens up that wide. But a 2.8, that's pretty decent. That's like a sweet spot for me, because you can get a lot of light in there, but you can also do a lot of different things. And the fact that it's combined with a zoom lens, I think that's pretty decent. It gives you a lot of options. If you want to get some really nice bokeh, you can do that with this lens. And another reason I did pick up this lens is because this summer I'm going to be working with some full frame Sony cameras, and this is the lens that I wanted to use with those. So at this point in the video, I think I need to come clean about something. I've been holding back on some key information to you, not to be mean, not to lie to you, but it's something pretty darn important. You know what? Just let me show you. Whoa. There it is. There's the big secret that I was keeping from you. I apologize. But there is the Sony G Master 24 to 70 2.8 lens on an APS-C camera. I know. You're shocked just like me. Actually, I'm not shocked. I'm the one that put it on here. But I am using a full frame lens on a APS-C camera. Now, why would I do that? Why would I put a gorgeous lens like this on a tiny APS-C sensor camera? Well, first of all, I do love this camera. This is the Sony a6400. It's my main camera. I do use a lot of different cameras, but for my own personal stuff, this is it. And it's been great. I absolutely love it. However, why would you put such a beautiful lens on a little camera? Well, the reason, for a couple of reasons. I did say I am doing a couple projects where I'm using full frame Sony cameras this summer and actually into the fall. And the lenses that they had, we were going to have to rent the lenses for it. And I just looked at it, and since I saw this at a discount, I decided, you know what, let's just pick it up. I'm almost future-proofing this camera. At some point, I do believe I will jump from the APS-C camera to a full frame camera. It's just going to happen at some point. I really do love this camera, the small form factor, the quality, the fact that lenses are much cheaper, which kind of contradicts my point. However, because I'm using this with other projects, I think it's a pretty decent way to go here. I love the fact that Sony, with their E-mount system, you can almost attach this lens to any Sony product. It's attached right now to an APS-C camera. I use it with a full frame camera. I use it with the FS7, FS5. You have a lot of options, and the fact that it fits all of those, that's great. Now, you don't necessarily lose anything when you use it on this camera. Now, if it was a Sony full frame, you have better sensors, so you're going to have better low light, better other functions on that, and that's great. And I understand that, but I don't really lose anything by using a full frame lens on this camera. My other lenses do a great job, and they don't give me the full focal length of the lenses. Just like this doesn't give me the full focal length of this lens. I'm cropped in, and I understand that. I do believe, if my math is correct, the 24 to 70 gives you an equivalent of 38 to 110, 115. Let's cut in the middle, 112, 38 to 112, something like that. I've never been good at math, and I've been promised no math in my YouTube channels, and so far I've actually had a lot of math. My channel, why do I have math in my channel? Anyways, getting back to the lens. It works really well on this camera. If I was not going to be shooting with full frame cameras in the future, then yeah, I probably wouldn't get this. I'd get a much cheaper lens with decent quality. APS-C lenses are really, really good. Sony just came out with a bunch of them, which is great, which means they're not going to be getting rid of, hopefully in the near future, the APS-C cameras. Hopefully they come up with a better APS-C camera, and maybe I'll upgrade to that. However, for now, I think my next camera will probably be a full frame Sony. When it comes to my shooting style, I'll be completely honest, I don't shoot a lot of photos. For me, it's almost 90%, 95% video, but I love the fact that you have the photo option and that these cameras do a great job with photos. And that's one of the reasons I've been looking at the FX3. It's a great video camera in a small form factor. It does a lot of great things, and it's such a small camera. For me, it might work really, really well, but I just don't take a lot of photos in this. However, when I shoot video with this lens, I've noticed a couple things. The quality of the glass, I really can't explain it. You know, some lens that you use, just everything looks really sharp. And for me, there's almost like a tint to it, like a more contrasty look. It's really hard for me to explain, but I really like it. And I think it's probably because of the expensive glass. Since I've never had a G Master lens before, that's what I'm going to go with. I know on the expensive Canon lenses that I've used, I get the same idea. You can tell that the glass is really expensive and it gives you some really, really good optics. The image is really sharp. It just does a decent job. And I think that's the same with this G Master lens right here. So I haven't had a lot of time to play with this lens. I actually brought it out on a camping trip. I do have a second YouTube channel called The Lazy Camper. I'm just waiting for you to have a little bit of a laugh track in there if you're making fun of my name. Yeah, The Lazy Camper, and it's an outdoor channel and a camping channel. I'm out camping, hiking, backpacking, you name it. So I decided to bring this along with me. I brought my other lenses too, which made for a big pack. I was canoe camping, so you're able to bring a lot more stuff in the canoe with me. Because this lens is big and it's heavy. It's much bigger and heavier than any of the other lenses that I have. But I wanted to give it a try and I didn't have a lot of time. So I took this with me and I got some decent shots. It did a really good job. I did some astrophotography. Of course, I did not use this. I used my Sigma 16mm for that, just because with the f1.4, it works a little better in that situation. I found the image quality very good, very sharp. Like I said, there's just something special about this kind of glass. And I really want to try more Sony glass to see if all their lenses are like that. So far, the full frame lenses that I have used from Sony, yeah, they're all like that. You can tell that the glass is much better. You're getting much better quality, and it just makes your image look that much better. For me, filming with it was great. It's got nice big dials on it, which I really, really like. It's got your autofocus. It's got your manual focus switch. I like that. You have a button, you have a lock on it. There's lots of different things that I really like. However, they still kept it simple. It's not like it's a lens that is overly complicated. I find a lot of times where you have lenses that are overly complicated, there's a chance that they could break down on you. This is just something nice and simple, heavy, but simple. Now, I probably won't be taking this with me with the A6400 on my camping trips this summer and this fall, just because it is so big and it is so heavy. Now I say it's so big and so heavy, it really isn't that big, but compared to my APS-C lenses, it is much heavier, much bigger. And it's just one of those things, if you're canoe camping, that's fine. But if you're backpacking, you're trying to minimize the amount of weight you have to carry. And with me, you have to carry all your camping stuff, your food, but you also have to carry all your camera gear. Now, if you're backpacking in for a short distance, not a big deal, but you got to go really far. You're going to be carrying a heavy bag. Sometimes my bag's over 50 pounds. If you're going 10 kilometers, every little pound counts. So I probably won't be taking this on backpacking trips, but I'm glad that I took it with me on this canoe trip because I was able to get some shots and I was able to really kind of get to know the lens. So what about you at home? Is this a lens that you already own and use? Please let me know in the comments what you think of this lens. Would you purchase this lens today knowing that the new lens is out there? That's probably the biggest point. If there is a new lens and the price difference isn't that much, for me, if the price was, I don't know, $300, $200 off for this lens, yeah, I probably wouldn't have bought this lens. But because I got $1,000 off, you know, it was just a bargain. I thought I had to go for it. Will I regret it in a couple years or maybe a year because the new lens is out there and the new lens is that much better? Maybe. Okay, so that's my video on the Sony G Master 24 to 70mm 2.8 lens. I can't wait to get out there and use this lens a little bit more. So thanks for watching and we will see you next time.